What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special E3 reaction video to the Bethesda E3 press conference. I don't know where I'm wearing these headphones still.
Yeah, you don't need those anymore.
I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Turford, alongside the ghost with the most, Drew McMillan.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, so it's really late at night. It's almost 11 o'clock our time.
Well, to be fair, we're giant babies and old men who don't stay up late anymore.
It's also Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm usually, well, I will be up at 6 tomorrow morning, so, you know.
Get hyped.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Bethesda. There's some exciting things to get through.
We're gonna sort of quickly wrap on this conference. So, yeah. Of course, if you missed our coverage, you can head over to game-moose.com for all of our E3 coverage as well. You also check out new episodes of the Game Moose podcast every Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time on podcast services around the globe, as well as game-moose.com. So, first up on the docket on my notes, Andrew WK appeared and maybe played a song.
Yeah, he played a song, and we sat through 3 minutes of Andrew WK. Don't get me wrong, I like Andrew WK. He played a hell of a tune. Guy plays one hell of a metal piano set.
It was certainly something.
It was dope. They didn't even show B-roll of the game over it. It was just an Andrew WK performance, and I don't know. This is not for me. Like, no. At a video game press conference, that's not what I want.
This press conference could have been 5 minutes shorter without Andrew WK.
If that's what you want, that's cool. I'm just saying this is not for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, moving on.
No, it's all good. So they showed Rage 2.
Yeah, they did.
They showed gameplay.
Looked great. It looked like a lot of fun. Again, it's giving me like Bulletstorm kind of vibes with like you've got all these weird powers that let you like throw people in the air and dash forward.
It's like a mix between that and the Doom combat. I feel like it's a really nice mix up of combat. Like, again, when we talked about Rage in the pre-show, I mentioned the reason I liked Rage was because of the combat. The combat was really well done, and it looks like they're carrying that this time around. It's a different combat style this time around. You still have the throwing blade that you had in the first game. Yeah. Like there was an emphasis on throwing weapons. Yeah. But it really feels like the spirit of Rage 1's combat is there.
So basically what we're talking about here is just high mobility combat. Yeah. Right? Like jumping around, dashing forward.
Using cool abilities to make yourself look cool.
Yeah, knocking people in the air and shit like that.
Yep.
Also car combat that looked really cool.
Yep.
Really cool. And this game looked really beautiful.
Confirmation you can drive any vehicle you see.
Yep. And of course, Avalanche developing. It looks like they're doing a great job so far, and it's got that weird vibe that we've talked about. Like it's got this sort of like irreverent, goofy.
That's the only turn off for me is the weird vibe.
Yeah, I'm not. It's
because I like weird vibes in games, but this one just isn't doing it for me.
It's rubbing me the wrong way. And Brock really didn't care for it either.
But I'm going to sort of reserve judgment on that until we play the game.
Absolutely.
But at least I'm more intrigued about that game now than I was with the original trailer.
It certainly is. It's a matter of balance and how they handle it.
Like when I saw that combat and that gameplay, I was like, I want to play that game. Yeah. It looks cool. Yeah. So we still know spring 2019. Didn't get more of a release date. That's just what we know so far. Yeah. Next up, Elder Scrolls Legends is getting a new visual update. It's coming to Xbox One, PS4, and Switch later this year. It's still free to play.
That's the card game.
If you like cards.
For those of you who care, that's the card game.
Yeah. I like card games, but I haven't tried Elder Scrolls Legends. Yeah. I will try it when it comes to consoles and tell you what I think, because I really like card games. But we'll see how that works out. Will it be better than Yu-Gi-Oh? Probably not, but I will try it anyways.
Is anything better than Yu-Gi-Oh?
Magic the Gathering is better than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Cool. Okay.
Not by much, though. Next up, ESO Somerset. We'll talk briefly about that. It's getting a new Wolf Hunter dungeon with werewolves. It's getting a Murkmire story expansion later this year. Yeah. That's all we pretty much have to say about that. Neither one of us really play ESO.
No, unfortunately. Really.
But I think it's probably like good news for that community. I think getting more content.
They're continuing their commitment to putting more stuff out. So
for sure,
that's great.
The exact opposite problem than the problem we talked about with the Division 2.
Yeah.
Or just what's going on with Destiny right now.
Yeah.
Next up, and this excitement freaked me the fuck out. I'm so excited about this. Yeah. Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Coming out next year.
Full sequel to Doom. Takes place on Earth. It's hell on Earth. Yeah. It looks awesome. Yeah. I cannot wait for Doom Eternal. It looks really fantastic. It looks like it is truly like the Doom 2. Yeah. To the last Doom. It does all the things that Doom 2 did, where, more enemies, bigger areas. Yeah. Crazier combat.
That's what they really wanted to hammer home. And we'll hear more about it at QuakeCon. They didn't really give us too many details, but we know it's coming. We
saw a quick trailer.
That's all I needed.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Quickly touching on Quake Champions, they announced a new trial coming out this week. So if you haven't jumped into Quake Champions at all and you're at all interested in that game, you should jump in this week, because then you're in the beta for the rest of the beta period. Then you don't have to fill out an application and wait for it or anything.
So
as a quick PSA, as a quick PSA,
you
should go check that out if you're interested. Prey, though, a game you are interested in,
indeed I am,
is getting a whole bunch of new stuff starting tonight. Actually, New Game Plus, survival mode, and Moon Crash, the new DLC expansion, all out tonight.
Yeah, Moon Crash looks really cool. It's got like a procedural sort of like vibe to it, where things change on each run. I said going into this, I don't think that they could sell me on something that I would be interested in, and then they did.
Yeah.
And it looks like it again, sort of the whole thing with Prey in terms of the gameplay stuff is just the layers of systems and how they interact, and it looks like they just sort of doubled down on that. It's just like more and more, like more fire, more mimics.
It's giving you more of the stuff you want.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks really cool.
Yeah. They also announced Typhon Hunter is a new mode that's coming this summer.
Which sounds really neat.
It's like a 5-on-5 mode. With
5-on-1.
5-on-1.
Yeah.
Where it's humans versus mimics.
4 mimics, 1 human.
Yep.
And the human is trying to hunt down all the mimics. And you, as a Typhon, as a mimic, you can disguise yourself as things in the environment.
Including Post-it notes.
Including...
Just kidding.
Not a mimic.
Not a mimic. So yeah, that's coming out later this summer. We don't know when it's happening though. It'll be a free update for the game though. Like in fact, all this Prey stuff is all free DLC. They said.
Oh, the moon thing is free. That's really neat.
Yeah, it's just a free update when you turn it on. Apparently.
Too bad I gave you your copy back. I want to play it now.
Next up, Wolfenstein Young Blood was announced. It's a sequel to Wolfenstein 2.
Yes, you play as BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters.
Yep. It takes place in the 80s.
It takes place in the 80s, and there's some like cool 80s shit, and you're in France.
Yep.
It looked, I don't know, they didn't show very much.
No, it was just a quick story trailer. Yeah. It's co-op though.
Yeah.
Co-op the whole game.
It's co-op. That's why he plays the twin daughters.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have the Nito like power armor suits from the last game. And
they said that when they were talking about it, that you can play solo. You don't have to play co-op if you don't want to, but co-op is there if you want to play it.
Yeah.
Because that hasn't been in any of the Wolfenstein games so far. So next up, we got a bunch of VR announcements. So Typhon Hunter, which we just talked about, coming to VR. But also they announced a new Wolfenstein VR game called Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. You basically play as a hacker pilot. That's all we pretty much know about it.
Yeah.
We don't really have dates for either of these. I'm guessing Typhon Hunter's VR mode will come pretty close to after that launches, and then who knows when Wolfenstein Cyberpilot
sounds neat. I mean, playing Prey VR sounds like a really cool experience.
Yeah. Now, Wolfenstein Youngblood, I didn't mention it. It's coming next year. Yeah. It's coming 2019.
2019, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. A lot of games are not coming that they talked about this year, not coming this year, which is very unusual for Bethesda. That is not something they typically do. They typically announce and then launch at least within a calendar year of when they do the...
Well, they've always had...
Not a calendar year, but rather like just a year to date. So like if it's at E3, there's a safe bet that it's coming out before June 2019.
Yeah. The only titles they didn't do that with were Prey and Dishonored.
Yeah.
Because like any of the Arcane games, they would announce them at E3 the year before, and they'd come out like the next May, or whatever. They would never be the same year.
But typically, especially major titles, they would like they're major like central like Bethesda GameWorks studios, like they're the big like Skyrim and stuff like that. They wouldn't oftentimes they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like they tease Skyrim one year, then the next year they're like, here's the trailer and it's out in November.
Yeah. Well, here's the date.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is funny. So let's talk about something that is out right now. Fallout Shelter coming to Switch, PS4 tonight.
Yeah.
And it's still free.
Yep.
So go play it if you want to play it.
Don't. It's not worth playing.
But it's free. You may as well try
it. Yeah, sure. Don't.
I mean, it's got trophies.
Don't pay for microtransactions.
It's got trophies.
Yes.
It's got a platinum trophy.
Don't pay for the microtransactions.
Well, let's talk about before we get to Fallout, I want to get this mobile announcement out of the way, Drew.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Blades was announced. It's coming to phones.
Yes.
But
everything else.
VR, PC, consoles. It's coming this fall at some point. And it is free to play.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like an arena, like almost like a dungeon crawling Elder Scrolls without the open world, essentially.
Yeah, and they said that like it harkens back to the traditional, like going all the way back to Elder Scrolls Arena, which was the first Elder Scrolls game that had a bunch of procedurally generated dungeons. They did mention there are some handcrafted ones and some procedurally generated dungeons in this, as well as a like build your town mode. This sort of seems to be the crux of the game. So it's Elder Scrolls Light. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Elder Scrolls for fucking babies,
or just for people who like to play games that are free.
Shame on you.
Yeah, but.
Fucking
you were we were both so disappointed in the way they presented it until they said it's coming to other things.
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
Yeah.
It was I understand why you're presenting it this way.
Yeah.
Because it's for consoles.
Because they're showing like the phone and the tablet. Like, play anywhere you want and do it anywhere. I'm like, what if I want to play it on my fucking Xbox, Todd? Okay, so it looks like it's coming to the Xbox. Respect.
But not Alexa. They teased. They had a really fun trailer of Skyrim coming to Alexa, and it was amazing.
Which was a very good gag.
Yeah.
It was a very good gag.
All right, let's talk about the most exciting announcements from this event.
Yeah.
First of all, Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Big gameplay reveal for this game.
Yeah.
It has 6 different distinct regions.
Yes.
It is a multiplayer online survival light shooter.
Yes. So it is. It's not an MMO because it's not massive, but it is a multiplayer. You're in a world. They said there's about 12 people
with you. Yeah.
With you, and you can work together or you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing they said, and there are a number of interesting gameplay hooks. Number one, they showed a bunch of the environments and they look really cool. They showed both. Some of it in action and some of the concept art looked really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. They also showed a lot of new creatures.
Yes. A lot of new monsters we haven't seen.
Like a giant bat and some like weird like beehive monster.
Yeah, it was like a bee but had a hive in its butt and other little bees came out of it.
Yeah.
There was a giant sloth.
Yep.
They're back.
Yep. Get hyped.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
There are also nuclear weapons.
There are. So a big part of the game apparently is you can find launch codes to access silos that launch nukes.
From like ghouls, essentially.
Yeah, and then so you launch the nukes, and then but you can launch the nukes at like enemy bases or wildlife or whatever.
They showed you can literally pick any target on the map, like any area of the map. It doesn't matter.
Which sounds interesting. What that will do to like the terrain and stuff like that is another question. Does it just kill everything, or does it? Because
they did show like what an area that was where a nuke had gone off would look like, and show that you can actually raid the area essentially.
And
in your hazmat suit, so you don't die.
Yeah. Also, again, this is a survival game, but they did mention that if you die, that it's not permadeath.
No. It's not state of decay or something like that.
Yeah, like you and your characters, if you die, like so that's why they said survival light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like they're basically taking some of the survival stuff from their survival difficulty that have been in a few Fallout games now.
Yeah.
And then they're also doubling down a bit on the base building. It looks more intuitive this time around, which, thank God, you don't have to build in the stupid plots anymore. You can sort of take your stuff anywhere, which is nice. So maybe it won't be as awkward this time around to build bases or destroy them in my case. But they said, number one, there's a beta coming soon. You can go sign up on Bethesda's website to go do that. They also announced a really rad collector's edition that includes not only a glow-in-the-dark map of West Virginia, but also a power armor helmet that you can wear, and it has a light that it toggles and a voice changer and everything.
Emphasis on you can wear it.
Yep. It's not the Master Chief Halo 3 helmet.
It's a collectible.
You can wear it.
It's a collectible helmet you can put on.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they just sort of 3D rendered. They didn't actually show the thing.
If it looks like that, it's going to be amazing.
To be fair, something I've always wanted.
Yep. Just like an online Fallout. You said that for...
I've wanted an online Fallout since the beginning of Fallout. So, if this... they have my money.
Yeah, because when they showed gameplay, it honestly looked like just playing normal Fallout with other people.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
So, I think our worries were for nothing, because this looks like an awesome Fallout game. And they did confirm you can play solo, so you don't have to play with friends if you don't want to. You can totally turn that feature off.
Yeah.
You just have to be... they did say it's always online. You have to be connected to a server to play it. And the last bit of information they gave about that, November 14th is when it's coming out. So, thankful... This is the only game, as far as I know of, that we know of that's actually coming out in November this year.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think any other game is confirmed for that month.
Yeah.
Or maybe there might be one or two, but this is the only one I can think of at this moment.
October, yes. November, no.
Every game in October and September. And February 22nd.
We're going to have a busy fall.
Yeah. So let's talk about the two...
I'm reviewing Fallout 76, by the way.
You called it?
I'm calling it.
That's fine. I'm going to review the Elder Scrolls Legends then on console. You're going to have to fight me for it.
Legends?
Yeah, the card game.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. That's all you did.
All right.
You got
it. Speaking of Elder Scrolls.
You can do Blade, too, if you want.
Drew, we got to talk about these last 2 announcements.
Yeah.
So.
Big games.
They really wanted to tee up what the next, 6 years for Bethesda game studios would be specifically.
Yeah.
They announced, first of all, that they have 3 teams now.
Yes.
One in Austin, one in Maryland, and then one in Montreal.
Yeah.
To basically work on Bethesda Game Studios games.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're getting Bethesda Game Studios games now much more frequently than the usual 3-year cycle or even 6 years between franchises, essentially.
Yeah.
So that first of all, they formally announced Starfield, a game that we've known about it for a while. We knew the code name was Starfield, but we didn't know if that was the actual title of the game. Turns out it is called Starfield.
Yeah.
And it is coming out on next-gen consoles. This is a next-gen console game. This is our first Xbox 2 PS5 game.
What is it? I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Yeah. It's specifically being designed for those consoles in mind, though, and not current gen.
Which is interesting.
They also, Todd Howard confirmed, it is in fact single-player only, and we have no idea when it's coming out, but it sounds an awful lot like it's going to be either a launch title or a launch window title for the new consoles.
Cool.
And it might still be on the old consoles as well.
Yeah, the trailer looked neat. Space.
Yeah, it has space.
And a big space station and then a weird space.
We literally had no other information about
it. We don't know if it's a role-playing game or an action game or a role-playing action game.
Well, Todd Howard specifically said it's an action RPG.
Okay.
In the vein of their other games.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? But the other announcement we got, Todd Howard claims, is coming out after Starfield.
So there's like 2038.
This is also another next-gen game.
Yeah.
The Elder Scrolls 6 was announced.
Yeah, and it was just a landscape that I didn't recognize, and as someone who knows the Elder Scrolls relatively well.
And we were going on about Elder Scrolls lore for 20 minutes during the show.
I mean, it looks a little bit like High Rock. It could be High Rock. I don't know. It was pretty nondescript, to be fair.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't Morrowind. It definitely wasn't like the Imperial City.
And it wasn't Skyrim or anything either.
It wasn't Skyrim. All those things stand out. It definitely wasn't. It wasn't Mirkwood. It wasn't Valenwood. It wasn't the swamp where the.
I think they wanted to make it nondescript on purpose especially because they didn't put a subtitle on it.
Yeah.
It's just the Elder Scrolls 6,
which is interesting because oftentimes, every Elder Scrolls has been set in a region. That's the whole point of the new Elder Scrolls games. Mm. But one of the things that they've been hinting at since all the way back in Morrowind, they didn't have it in the other ones, is there's a whole other continent that they've made mention of
that we've never been to.
We've never been to.
Okay.
So Tamriel is the main continent that we're on, and that's the one that's got the High Elves and the Somerset Isles. Mm. It's got the Wood Elves in Valenwood and the Dark Elves in Morrowind. It's got the Nords in Skyrim and the Cyrodiil in the Imperial City in the middle, and High Rock over on the east, and on the west coast, and a bunch of other things as well, like Daggerfall and stuff like that.
But the new continent's name? West Virginia.
The new continent is West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, there's a new continent where they talk about monkey people and snake men and stuff like that.
That sounds interesting.
That's been mentioned in literature that you can find in the game, and that literature's been in literally all of the games up until now.
Okay.
So I think they've actually been hinting at it for a long time. I think this could be it.
Especially because, and don't hate me for saying this.
ESO.
The ESO, you can go to everywhere in Tamriel in it. So maybe that's their way of saying goodbye to Tamriel and then moving on to this new continent.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd be totally for that.
So we have no idea when either this or Starfield are coming out. We just know Starfield's coming before Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all we know.
Yeah. Science fiction game coming out soon.
Yeah. It sounds to me, again, if I'm going to hypothesize and tell me if I'm sounding crazy, I'm pretty sure Starfield is a 2020 game, and then Elder Scrolls 6 is a 2022 game.
That sounds about right.
Because I think with these new teams, I think they're going to do 2-year dev cycle.
Yeah.
Because they have multiple teams working on this now.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. It's not 2019.
No.
I mean, it can't be, right?
No.
That'd be crazy.
Well, again,
They could be
that would assume then the next gen consoles would be next year though. Because Todd Howard specifically said the new engine is designed to work specifically for new consoles.
That's
like the next gen consoles.
It's a weird thing to say. Yeah. It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. So that's why I really think it will not be next year.
What are you doing, Todd?
I'm very positive it's not coming next year. Although I also said I was very positive before this E3 that they wouldn't announce Elder Scrolls 6 because I thought it was coming in 2023.
Yeah, me too.
Turns out it probably is still coming in 2023. They just felt like telling us.
And they didn't give it a name or anything. So
no, we don't even have a list of platforms.
Yeah. So here we are.
Yeah. So overall, before we go, what did you think about Bethesda overall? Do you think it was okay?
It was too long. They spent too much time on stuff that really didn't matter. I mean, the stuff that we really care about was like Fallout 76. I mean, it was cool that they announced Youngblood, but they didn't tell us enough about it. But like honestly, like
or even Doom, where I was like, that was one of the titles. If they were going to announce it, I would expect them to tell us more about it.
Yeah,
but it's coming at QuakeCon. They spent more time talking about the Elder Scrolls Online, and Elder Scrolls Blades than Doom 2.
Yeah, I was really like Quake Champions doesn't need to be here at all. I guess Rage is something they need to talk about.
Well, at least Quake Champions was quick, and it was just there for them to announce the beta.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like how I don't like how these smaller publishers do their things. I don't like how Ubi does theirs either. I think they kind of drag it on a little.
Especially because going into this, we thought, okay, it's probably going to be a half an hour to an hour at the most.
Yeah.
But it's an hour and a half long.
Yeah, it was way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I liked what they showed, but the press conference was seriously not nearly as good as last year's in the pacing of the conference. The conference itself, not nearly as entertaining or pace-wise as good as last year's.
I'll play Rage 2. So far, it kind of piqued my interest. I'm definitely going to play Fallout 76. The thing I'm really excited about is Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah, same here. And again, Doom, Wolfenstein. Yeah. I am so jacked for those games. Like every one of these games, I want to play. Even the Prey DLC. When I'm finished with Prey, I'm going to go play it, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
But so that's the thing. They have a lot of awesome games coming up. So I'm really excited about that. Anyways, listeners at home, what do you think about Bethesda's E3 showcase? Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter at game_moose_cast, on Facebook at facebook.com/GameMoosePodcast, and hit up our website, game-moose.com, for all your game news needs. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow, Drew and I, for Ubisoft.
Yep.
At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. Yep. We will double check before Drew goes home.
Yeah.
And PlayStation tomorrow night, and then Nintendo on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So get hyped, everybody.
Game-moose.com/live.
Yep, exactly. Anyways, we're heading out for the night. So thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.